What is up, guys? Welcome back. Today I would like to start with two things. First of all, I would like to shout out to my two favorite students right now, Jacob 1, Jacob 2. Next thing, I want to thank to my new subscribers from 1E. You know who you are. Thanks for sharing that. And I wouldn't be this without you, without your support. So thank you. And this is for you too. So today video number 2, as you can tell, 3 topics. Let me demonstrate. Okay. Conditionals. Ooh. Passive. Wow. And there is only one negative in wow, this is it. I should really learn to type faster. Okay, this is what we're going to cover now. So brace yourselves, sit back, let's go. Conditionals. This is something that we've been talking about for maybe 20 years plus. Today I'm going to cover only 3 of them. Okay? We will eventually do more in the future. So let's begin, starting with 0, because why not? 0 condition, 2 things. Well, first of all, we need to define conditional. It's obviously one sentence consisting of 2 clauses, if clause and main clause. If and look, main would be here. These 2 usually have, well, not usually, but all the time, have 2 different verbs, which means that we can work with 2 different tenses. In the 0, as you already know, we're working with present simple, and in main, guess what? The same thing. Boom, the same thing. I wrote simple here, but I wrote only S here. Do you understand that? I don't understand it neither. So let's fix that. Okay, this is the form. So you have present simple in the first one, you get present simple in the second one as well, all together the same tenses. Let's have an example here. If there is a problem, I solve it instantly. If there is a problem, I solve it instantly. So as you can see, one is and one solve here too, the same tenses now. So what does this really mean? Of course, first of all, you have to understand the sentence. If you don't, then I feel really sorry for you. But yeah, when does this sentence actually happen? The 0 condition. So we're talking about all the time, right? It's not now, it's not yesterday, it's not in the future. That's something that happens all the time. So if there is a problem anytime, I solve it anytime. That's something that we can consider to be usual activity. So every time there is a problem, I solve it, right? That's my habit. That's what I do. That's just the way it is. All right. You are not talking about the future. You are not talking about the past. You are talking about something that happens usually. All right. It's not even now, right now, because the problem, you might not have the problem right now. Okay. You might be perfectly fine. But if there is a problem, I solve it instantly. That is 0 condition for us. Okay? 2 of the same tenses. Now let's have a look at the first one. And again, the same thing. If and main clause, that remains the same. Let me highlight it because I can work with this program very nicely. There's one. Main. There's the red one. Okay, so in the if part, the same, we're going to start off with present simple, and this time in main clause we're going to do future. In this case we'll have a look at will. I'm going to transform the same sentence here so you can see it better. Now imagine that there is this situation. We have a test tomorrow. We have a test tomorrow. This is not really a conditional, as you can see, it's just the context. And now, if you have a problem, I will solve it for you. The test time tomorrow. We have a test tomorrow. If you have a problem, I will, so check this out, will solve is referring to the future. So that's why we can say that the first conditional is only aimed at the future time. For us, it would be like, if you go with me, then I will pay you for it. Okay, there is some activity going on in the future. If you go with me, I will solve it for you. Definitely, you cannot use if you will, or if you will go, or if you will have, or whatever. That is not how this works. Okay? I'm serious. Good. Let's get back. And number 2, if, as usually, now there is a change. Past tense and main. Would. This one's a little bit different. These two are realistic. Number 2 is kind of unreal, kind of wish, something that is not happening, is not possible, but if it were, it would be like this. So already kind of sad. What would that be? So imagine there is this case that, let's say, you don't have any problem, right? You never had one, you don't know what it is, you lead really, really great life. And I could say something like, if you had a problem, I would solve it. But you don't have any problem, right? This is just a theoretical case. If you had one, I would, but you don't. So we don't have to talk about it. This is the past form, but you have to be careful. What a beautiful color this is. I would solve. This is the past tense. Now remember, this is obviously it's past tense, but it doesn't refer to the past. This is not about the past. You can say this is all the time. I don't want to say now because it's not now, it's all the time. This is future. Future. This is future. And here, this is not past. Okay? It is theoretical present time or future. Jesus, this typing is terrible. Or future, right? It's definitely, let me just adjust it like this. Come on, fit in there. That's what I'm talking about. Okay? Definitely nothing related to past. It's just a past tense form, but it doesn't really mean that you are talking about the past. If you had a problem in the future, I would solve it for you in the future, but you don't, so it's all good. Another very easy example would be if you, let me change the color here. If you were taller, I would date you. Now, I'm pretty sure that this is what some guys hear all the time. I cannot help you with that. You will not be taller. This is the thing. It's unreal. You cannot be taller. Once you reach at some age, it's just over for you. Embrace it. So that means that there is not a theoretical chance that you can be taller. But if you were, I would. But you are not, so I will not. Easy. All right? It's impossible. It could be wish. It could be fictional situation, something that certainly cannot happen just like that. One more thing that I would like to add to this is that in the second conditional, we don't really work with was. Okay, so was, forget it. This got stuck for whatever reason. Right, the point is that, yeah. Now I don't really know what to do with this. Wait a second. Oh boy. Oh boy. How can the program just lag out like this? It's not like I pay for it anyway. Anyway, let's continue. No was, all right? If it were a little bit later, and so on and so on. If I were, and so on and so on. You get the point, right? Good. The second one, the passive. Let's talk about that now. Passive comes in handy when you don't really know who performs the action, or it doesn't matter, you don't want to say or anything, right? You just don't want to use the words like somebody or they, or, you know, not specified words like this, but you still want to make meaningful perfect sentence. You can use passive. I really encourage you to use it. So, subject, verb, object. This is how the normal sentence looks like. Here it goes like this: object, verb, and subject is voluntary, whatever you feel like. I'll explain. This is the form that we use: to be plus past participle. Past participle, that's the third column of the irregular verbs. Regular verbs is the same. Okay, so this is the verb form. Okay, verb here and verb here. This is how every verb in passive will look like. Of course, in simple forms. In the continuous form, we have something more fancy. To be plus being plus past participle in the continuous form. Okay, it's universal, it's like that every time. Now the important thing is that if you want to change something, the only thing that you can actually change is to be. Okay, so I will do it like this. To be is special. You want to change the tense, you change to be. I'm talking about this. This is your normal sentence in active voice. We make cars. Right? We make cars. Wait, what am I doing? Okay. 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 Are you guys watching this? Please don't go to the other video. We make cars. We, subject, make what? Cars, easy sentence. Now this would be the passive. Cars, that's the object. Now we have to follow this. To be and past participle are, that's to be. Past participle of make is made. And now I can say, if I want to, by us, but this is not important really. I'm just going to put it just like so. Cars are made. Now what happens if you want to change the tense of this? We made cars yesterday. Whatever. All you do is change to be again. Cars were made yesterday. What you did, check this out. Were was transformed from are. All you did was past tense. This stays the same all the time. You want to go with future? Don't mind if I do. Cars will be made. Okay? Will be, this is the future of to be, and made is past participle. And it doesn't matter what tense there will be. Cars have been made, and so on and so on. All right, it's still the same thing. Now let's have a look at the continuous form, and it would be something like, we are making cars right now. We are making cars right now. So if we want to follow this pattern now, we're gonna go like this. Cars are being made right now. The same thing. Are being, the are, it's to be. Being, it's copied. Past participle right here. Cars are being made right now. And it, again, it doesn't matter what the tense is. Cars were being made at that time. Are present, future. And there you have it. Passive voice. Very good, very useful. A little bit higher level. You don't have to say they say. You say it said. You don't have to say they told me. You say I was told. Or I was asked. The question was asked. And so on and so on. You feel me? Very good. And the last thing for today is the rule of one negative in a sentence. This is pretty much all you need to know. There you have it. There is nothing else. One negative in a sentence. What more do you want? I don't know nobody. Or I don't know nothing about nobody. Now you can see that it's something fishy in here, isn't it? Don't, obviously that's the first negative. No, well, this probably tells you that there is some negative as well. Here the same thing. What the hell am I doing? Look at that. No. Oh, I'm getting overwhelmed by these no's. This is obviously wrong. See? Magic. I don't know anybody. Never is negative as well. I never don't do my homework. What the hell is this? I never don't do. Never is one negative. You cannot use it. Don't is another one. Not good. Okay, so I never learn. I don't know anyone. and so on and so on. Okay, this is one negative, it needs to be automatically followed by any. Now, one thing that is important here to say is that it's actually very much used. Native speakers use it very much, and it's considered to be very informal, and I wouldn't try it. If I were you, I would just stick to the normal one, to the one that we learn, the proper one, and I'm pretty sure that you will not fail anything. Okay, so don't use 2 triple negatives. Even that exists. People do that. Don't do it. Don't be like them. And yeah, that's pretty much it, I guess. Again, if you have any questions or anything, just leave them down there in the comments. I'm pretty sure that one day, if I have time after 25 years, I could actually get back to you. And yeah, don't forget to like, subscribe, and I guess I'll see you in the next video. Cheers.